This is a look at the Smart Hook by JDiag. It's a power probe style tool. I'm going to compare it to other similar tools that I'm already using. Starting with 12.5. They're all pretty similar. So when this one gets, starting with the Power Probe 3, when you get a good power, you get an LED that lights up, 12.6 volts. This one also has the LED and the screen lights up. You can also put this one into a scope, and by switching it on and off by tapping on there, you can get a scope, shows you frequency, duty cycle, the min and the max, which is handy. Right, so here, choose the smart, press OK, touch the negative, we get a green light, touch the positive, you get the voltage plus a red light. Now we go into there, I'm going to put some resistance in it by turning this up. See there? This one shows us what's at the battery, shows us what's at the end of the multimeter at the same time, and the light's gone out, which means there's a resistance in the circuit. That's also handy if you want to know, is it a sensor signal, something like that, that has a higher resistance and a voltage. If you're trying to just do a quick check and you're not sure on the wires, and you can get to figure out which way is which by the one that has the good ground will light up green. If it's a power supply, it should light up red, and the signal doesn't light up. It's not always the case, but most of the time it is. These other two do a similar thing where they light up green. I'll just show you. So now we're on the power, and it's lit up red, but if I turn this up, this one's changed that I do have to turn the power up more. The resistance up more. So I'm at 20 kilo ohms, and then we lost the red. Whereas the other one was quite a bit lower. I think it was only 6 kilo ohms. And the same on this one. See, there's no red light on that. But if I turn the resistance down enough that it's just flashing, that's on all the time. So it gives you an idea at 5 kilo ohms, it's on. Anything over that, we're really probably looking at a signal, a sensor signal rather than a supply. These two here, you can give something power at the tip, obviously, by pressing that. You can give it a ground at the tip by pressing that. You also have the ground clamp. So you can power something up by giving it power and connecting the ground. The same with this one. It's exactly the same. Give it power, give it ground. Just the same idea. This one's a bit different. You can't just give it power or ground. You have to come out, go back to this main menu, and you have to go to activate. Now this has got different ways of doing it. If you latch it, it's quite useful actually. So we could go across here, right, bring it right round to there for a moment. It means whilst you're pressing it, it's the same. You get power at the tip whilst you press it. When you let it go, the power goes. Or you could press down here, ground. So it is the same in that way as the other one, but you have to change the screen first to do it. Another advantage with this one is you could put it to latch, and then you press it once, and it stays on until you press the same button again. Or you could press the ground if you want to put ground at the tip. You press that button once, and it stays on giving a ground to whatever you're trying to put a ground to through the tip until you press it again. Or you could pulse it. And that's the power on, off, on, off. And obviously you do the same with the ground as well, but it's the same one that you press. And you could also depends what you're checking. You might want different amperages to come through the tip. So the max amperage there is 17 amps. 18 seems to be the max that we can get it up to. We could take it right down. Right down to 1 amp. So you can control how much amps comes out of there. And yeah, that's about that one. That's one of the differences. You have to go into the activate mode. There is an oscilloscope with this, which is handy as well. The duty cycle, 50% on time, 50% off time, 725 Hertz. It gives you the min and the max all on the same screen. So now what I'm going to do is just try it on this one and see how different it looks. Still says around 50% on, 725, so that's the same on the screen. It's a bit blurry, but it is there. I've got the divisions here, so if I try and change, that's 1 volt per division. So you can see it bigger. I can make it smaller, 2 volts per division, 3 volts per division. Try and change the time. So we go, oh no. So the time is side to side. And if I go too quick, if I like that, there it's eventually caught up. It's just weird how it shows that at the top. I'll maybe put on a graphing meter to see what it looks like with that. It might just be how it should look, but I didn't see that with this one. A little bit, but it's not quite the same. This is just to show you what it looks like on a graphing meter. It doesn't have flat tops and bottoms to it, so it is kind of accurate to what it actually looks like. I'm looking at, what is that, pin 1 in the data link connector. I can change the time on that one. So because you can control the time, you get to see a better image. It's gone all together. There. I don't know if I've got a bad connection down here. I think that's what it was, a bad connection, but it's working okay now. Try the can high. See how that looks. So you could just about check to see if something's happening on the CAN bus just as a guide. With this probe, you can see something, but the max is going to go way beyond because of the spikes. It's not made for this, and I know that. I was just showing you. If I go into pin 9, I get a different type of signal. Again, pin 1, keep it the same as what I showed you before. But because it's auto ranging, you don't get to get the control of it. Press and hold, and you're back to there. Now we've got the sensor simulator. So if we go into that one, we can just disconnect this. Right, so we're going to give something power. So we're just seeing how this works. We've got the 0.5 of a volt. Go at 1, like a half volt at a time. Output voltage is basically the same as the input, as what you're asking it to be. And that's all the way up to 5. This one's got more amperage to drive stuff, like an injector. I'm using a test light. So this is different settings. So let's press OK and see what happens. That's it flashing on. I'll do it again. In the box you get a couple of connectors. That one's for front probing. It's flat. You get this one that goes into the ground wire. And oh yeah, you get these relays wires, so that when you plug it in you can activate relays and see if they work. There's a choice of relays there. Shows you what else they sell and a book on how to use this. So it's just a quick guide to what this does. I haven't used it as much as I thought I was going to, because I keep going for the other ones. I don't know why that is. I should use it some more, but when I have used it, it's worked fine. It's done the same job as the other ones. It does give you more options of what you want to do. I did find that the variable voltage output that I've got on other sensor simulators is better for me to get the voltage exactly where I want it to be, so that if I'm doing something to prove will it allow me to clear the fault code and I can't get the voltage in the right place, if that's the reason that the engine light's on and I'm trying to fool it to think it's got a new part by using a sensor simulator, well, I can't really do that with something when you can only go up in 0.5 of a volt. So I do prefer a variable resistor for that to get it exactly where I want it to be. It does show you something change on the live data though, so you would know that the wires are okay and that sort of stuff all the way back to the scan tool. But you could just use the scanner down away and use a test light from positive or from negative, from ground. See if it pulls the voltage up or down or whatever it is you're looking at on the scan tool. So you wouldn't even need one of these at all if you've just got a test light. It is a good tool and I'm glad I've got it, but I haven't used it as much as I would like to. But there has been a few people asking me what I thought of it, so I thought I'd just update them. I said I would. I haven't done a proper review, but what I'll do is when I start doing more diagnostics, I'll use this more and then you can see then for yourself what it can and can't do. Anyway, thanks for watching.